Hello. Greetings from magical Broome, Western Australia. So, today I wanted to talk to you about weight gain from after you've decided to recover from your anorexia and or bulimia. A quick background about me. I put myself on my first diet when I was 9 years old, which included starving myself, and did that on and off until I was like 34 years old. And at one point, I had some major heart problems and got all the way down to about 48 kilos. So I know what it's like to have an eating disorder for a really long time. I know what it's like to heal and put weight on and kind of look like you're recovered, and then to actually not be, because inside, you may still hate your body, and you may still secretly want to be thin. You may be really uncomfortable with how you are. And then anytime some sort of crisis or stress comes up, it's like the familiar, the comfort is, okay, let me restrict my eating, either a little bit or a lot of it. Let me purge, let me over-exercise, let me always feel guilty about what I'm eating. And, I had to hit bottom pretty hard to decide, okay, I'm going to heal. And since then, I can successfully say, I fucking love my body, and I've really learned to chill out. I love food. I never thought I would love food. I gotta be honest. I thought that maybe I'd be okay with my body and have a normal weight, but I never knew that I would be when do we get to eat next? But what I wanted to say is that as I'm counseling other women who are recovering from either restrictive eating, on a diet for decades, or being bulimic, over-exercising, there's a point when you first have to commit to heal. And then once you do that, the real work begins. And just in brief, you're going to have to learn how to eat. And that may be awkward in the beginning. You may be like, oh my God, I'm eating way more food than I thought. And also oh my God, I feel like I can't stop eating, you don't even know where your hunger begins and ends, and how to take out all the judgments and ideas you might have about food, how to actually enjoy the taste of food. So there, you can come and train with me. There's going to be other videos I'm making, but I wanted to talk in particular that if you're right now, you've decided to commit, and now you're like, oh my God, I'm going to put some weight on. What do I do? Put the clothes that are tight and maybe your smallest self. You got to just hide those, actually donate them, and go shopping. Okay, go get some badass clothes that you look good in. And that's first and foremost, the most important thing. Okay. And no matter what size you are, you're going to have your body type. So you'll learn that, there's no body size shape that looks good in everything. So you just got to find out what do you look hot in. Okay. Have fun with fabrics. Please do not hide yourself in black unless you can pull it off a certain way, but color's cool. Okay. Second part too is you might need a haircut. So it's just doing certain things just to take care of yourself. I remember the first time I healed, yes, I relapsed a lot. I got a haircut and I felt like I was just cutting away all those times that I was harming myself and betraying myself. The other thing is starting to find value in yourself outside of what you look like, because I don't know about you, but for me, I totally would always think oh, he doesn't like me because I'm just not thin enough. And so I go diet. Or my whole value system at that point revolved around my size. I actually didn't see that I didn't look healthy. You might have also found that you've got some health issues. Now I'm going to tell you, at 41 years old, I'm revealing my age, you can repair this. I had some really big organ issues. I had some challenges, major challenges with my teeth, major challenges with my heart, major problems with my esophagus, and it all can recover, but you have to be committed. You might want to work with a naturopath and find out what are you deficient in, because that will really help. You're going to have some deficiencies. The other thing is that you're going to hit moments where you get stressed, you get triggered, maybe someone sees you and they're like, oh my God, you put on weight. And you're going to be like, I'm going to go fucking back into my food restriction, over exercise. I'm going to go binge eat a little bit. I'm going to do something. So you have to make sure that you have a much deeper commitment as to why you want to get out of this. Like, what is your vision in your life? What's your goal? What are you really here for? What matters to you? My first one, when I was 17, I decided I was going to go live in West Africa. I didn't know what I was going to do there, but I was like, I'll have to put on enough weight and be healthy enough for anyone to let me even get on a plane to go to this place that's going to challenge me. Other times it was just like, because I was a yoga teacher that was well known, and I had to start to challenge myself with what kind of trainings and offerings am I going to give? Because I found that when I was anorexic or bulimic or both, or just not eating enough, my brain was not functioning. I didn't have the amount of energy that I have now to pull off what I needed. So like, create goals where you have to have your shit together. I became a trapeze artist at one point because I was like, you got to be strong. You can't be starving yourself. Or for those of you who know what it's like to like throw up all your food, like, we get weird. You can't think straight, much less like throw any tricks on a trapeze, so do some fun new movement that it's not about what you look like, and it's more about like the fun that you're having. Dance. So you're going to have moments where you're going to want to regress. And even if you regress, if you can catch yourself and be like, okay, what do I need right now? That will be really, really helpful. The other thing is, and this is my last point, is that when you're putting on weight, you just have to give yourself a time period where your body's just going to be like, I'm just figuring this out. Like, you haven't been giving me food for X number of months or years, and now you're giving it to me and I don't know what to do with it. So your body's going to go into like hoarding mode. Your body's just going to hold it. Like we all have our special places to hold weight, and it's just going to hold for a bit. This is so important. This is why it's really important that you do not go back into some sort of diet or over-exercise or binge and purge, okay? Even if you binge a little bit, dealing with that feeling of fullness. That was a tough one for me, but I was like, okay, like here I am. I just ate my entire fridge. I don't want to do this every time. And my usual out was I'm going to purge. Okay, no, I'm going to breathe. I'm going to feel. I'm going to call a friend. I'm going to do art. I'm going to write about it. And by feeling that feeling, it was like, okay, I don't want this to be my regular. So if you really want to heal, you have to stick with this. Because if you put on weight and then you're like, oh, time for a detox, time for a juice fast, time to just restrict just a little bit, then you're not actually healing. You're going right back into the pattern. Because your body actually needs to know, what is it like to be fed? So I now have consistently been at the same weight, thank fucking God, for 4 years. And what's really cool is to see that I can eat like a teenage boy and not put weight on. And I also can not eat that much. And my weight just doesn't destabilize. Whereas back in the day, it felt like if I ate something a little too much outside of what I was allowing myself, I would just explode. My body was constantly yo-yoing. My hormones were whacked out. I didn't have a period for years. So you've got to create consistent eating. Your body needs to know that it gets fed. I'm part of a yoga healing, crew, and everyone does detoxes and fasts. And I'm like, people, that's gonna fuck me up. I did that. And my body does not need to be like, what is it like to not eat for X number of hours? It's like, or days, my body's like, what is it like to get nourished? Because I actually didn't have that. So your body needs consistency, and your metabolism will catch up. But there was a year where I was a little bit cute and chubby, and that didn't, I got hit on more then than ever. So like, if you're vain, like we're all a little vain, right? If you're vain, just know that like your juice is going to make you a little bit sexier. Okay. So just own it. We all have to learn how to own it. Listen to Maya Angelou's Phenomenal Woman, right? Like that was a great inspiration. It's a short poem. Okay. You can Google it. Phenomenal Woman, Maya Angelou. So, You've got to just commit that I am going to learn how to eat. I'm going to learn how to sleep, because I'm sure your sleep is super special too at times. I'm going to learn how to eat for this year. Your hormones will rebalance. I did do acupuncture. I took a little bit of supplements, but I found that just by consistently eating and by not overdoing it with the exercise. So I had to learn to chill. So this is my magic message to you, because I know that since I've told people, how much I actually was struggling, because even when I looked normal, I was still secretly dieting and I was still fucking up my body. So many women have come out and just said, yeah, me too. This is me. And that there's a deeper emotional healing, life healing, spiritual crisis healing, you being in your power underneath this all, but you can't even touch that if you're not actually eating. So you can do it. You're going to have tough moments. Find those friends who are just like good friends, where you can just say, look, I'm having a tough moment, but I swear to you, you can do this. Sending love. Bye.